And we're up and running. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to IIRL's 399th race. This week we are celebrating our 400th, I'm pretty sure it's 400th race, and we're doing that here at Brazil, Interlagos, the track that we very recently had quite a long, interesting race on in real life. Very damp race. Cheers, Socks. It's dry quali. Dry sprint quali, wet sprint race, dry quali, race dry to wet. Well, that sounds like it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to have a simple and straightforward race today, I suppose. So a bit of a damp could take this on for a while now. Pretty full grid tonight, 18 drivers, some familiar faces, some turners. Evening snacks, not sacks. Covering is what I do. I do everything I can to, like, cover my face for the sake of those around me. So yes, Brazil, a fantastic track. I love Brazil. Wow, I love it and I hate it. It's got a fantastic mixture of corners, fast-flowing sections, high-speed corners, low-speed corners, and of course that ridiculously long DRS straight. Socks screaming my name in the chat. That's what I like to see. So, got Joseph Hales first out on track. Of course, this is short sprint quali, so everyone's required to do, well, they don't have to do a run on the mediums, but if they don't do a run on the mediums, they will lose the mediums anyway. So it's worth doing a lap on the mediums first, seeing what happens, seeing where you can place it, because you can get a good lap that'll put you in a good position. It's worth keeping the softs for sprint for the race. Joseph Hales going a little wide off track there. Turn 5, 4 through 5. Here we go, up. Yeah, 4 and 5, yeah, no. I was trying to keep track of all of my corners here. Through sector 2. Awful uphill braking zone here. I hate it. But it's a hairpin as well. Not that it feels like a hairpin. I don't feel like it feels like a hairpin in the slightest. Here we go. Down into Jinsao. And then up the hill. Burning all of that overtake. Oh, he's burnt a little too much, I think, here. It's a little too much battery as you come down. Crosses the line for first lap with a 1:08.2. John on a lap now. I believe that they are the... Ah, JJ was also on a lap. Missed JJ there with the 1:15.8. Nice little prep and warm-up lap for JJ. Get the feeling of the track. Think that puts... Looking at the map, that does put John next across the line. 51.8 through the middle sector. Up the hill. Nowhere near as much deployment here, but he starts pumping his battery. Very narrowly keeps it within track limits. Or 107.9. What a phenomenal lap. Who's next? Oh, Girthy Steve has unfortunately invalidated. I think it's Cod Camper next across the line. Medium tyres puts him on a 113.8. Big range of cars here. I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, only Girthy Steve here on the soft side with Prev and Top Gun, who are both in the pits. So I can only look for Constructors Championship. John is. Oh yeah, no, John is the Drivers Championship. Yep, pretty sure he snagged that last week. Which is exactly what we wanted here. John claiming yet another NA title. I mean, I was rooting for him from the beginning. That's at least what I'm going with now. What's next across the line? I think it's... Girthy Steve is invalidated again. Kemence goes faster. It's one of the Mercedes of Willow here next across the line. Does a 107.8. What a nice time. Feeling it a bit here for Girthy Steve. Not. Wow, DeflatedWee goes even faster again with the 107.4, sorry. I suppose this track does kind of have a good ramp up to it. So it plays at the 108.0. Greg goes to the 108.8. JJ has improved to bring it up to a 109.5. I think he's going to dip into the pits now. Yeah. Who else is on it? Hasn't done a lap yet. So the Smiley's out, but has invalidated as well. So I guess that's... Oh, Moose is off to one side. I can only imagine he had a moment there down at turn 2, and that's why he's not moving on that lap very quickly. See what Girthy Steve can do. Of course, Girthy running last on Sunday. Running all the way up front for the entire race. Lost it marginally on penalties. Phenomenal drive. Was the whole... practically an entire league ahead of everybody else at that point. Up there with Nifty. Down into Jinsai again. Another hard corner. Gotta be careful not to do that. It's so easy to lose the rear there as you go around the corner. It's realistically probably a third gear corner in quali trim. So Plains has gone P2 with a 107.4. I think everybody's sort of dipping into the pits now to put some new boots on. I think Ayahuasca might be doing another lap here. Potentially getting pulled along by Top Gun. This is gonna be it. Actually, I'm gonna ride on board with watch these two because this should be an interesting lap. The two of them both running practically one behind the other here, so if you're too close you're going to be running the risk of catching up the driver in front. Ayahuasca goes 0.2 seconds faster on that lap, but runs wide and invalidates. So easy to run wide there. Just a little bit of understeer. Round turn 9. I hate it. I hate this middle sector so much. Drives me insane, but Top Gun putting in a good time there through the middle sector. Not a lot of battery. I find it interesting. A lot of people seem to have completely burnt out their batteries by the time they get to this part of the track, and arguably this is one of the most important points to have a good lap on. Is Ayahuasca going to be diving into the pits? No, Ayahuasca's going again. Those mediums are going to be getting a little bit worn now. Of course, Brazil is essentially a track that you get a lot of people winning championships at, even in real life, given how close it is to the end of the calendar. John sneaking in that championship win last week, I believe. What's going on here in Sector 2? Hopefully those guys didn't have any comings together. Joseph Hales and Greg. Oh, see, Ayahuasca, in that first time round, he was 2/10 up after the first sector. Of course, it doesn't look like he's going to be putting that time in now. He's probably not going to improve. He does it with marginally. Now it goes 2/10 down on his previous time. People are starting their soft runs now. Yeah. Ayahuasca, 4 laps on those mediums. About time he's not going to have time to come in either and stick another do another lap. We're almost here at the end of quali, and there's a few people out who have not set laps yet. Girthy, Steve, Moose, Smaller Smiley, and Prev. Smaller Smiley on a lap now. Prev on a lap, but Prev goes deep and wide around at turn 10. So that lap is somehow still valid, but it's on the medium tyres still. He should, provided he plays this well, be able to go around and do another lap. Willow on an out lap. Let's jump on board with... See, Girthy Steve is in the pit, so he's not coming out to do a lap. Prev is still in the pit as well. Smaller Smiley through Bico de Pato. 51.8. I think that was on par with that guy's time in Sector 2. Currently, Hill is getting a bit of a tow here behind the Haas. Padge, he does, to go P8. You see Top Gun retire. Greg invalidated that lap. I think he's still got time to go again. I can't tell because of all the yellow flags up in Sector 2. Yeah, no. So he's got to make this lap count if he wants to improve. Sox running 700. So Wee goes P1 with a 107.3. Which is a terrifying time, even in short quali. Willow pips that marginally with a 107.2. And it's probably worth having a quick gander at what the what's the word I'm looking for? Well, the record is here for quali. See Sox come around up the hill, down towards the line, but all his battery out early. Does improves by 0.4, but not enough to push him through. Small Smiley is now on the back foot. Not that elimination is a problem here. What can Greg do? He's 0.3 up. Improves, but not by enough to make a... I don't think he went up a place. I think he stays in P13. Nothing from Gathy's deal either. So that is the end of our sprint quali. As it stands, our current qualifying lap record is a 106.2, so that's not getting pipped today. The race time, however, I think that is possible with a Wiggles having that one with a 108.1. So, I'm actually a little bit surprised there. Half a second from pole with 0 laps of practice. I think you should be happy with that, Joseph. That was a great lap. It was a bit squirmy at the beginning, getting out of coming out of turn 4, but you managed to make it there. So that's our grid for the sprint race. Picking up quickly, just getting my screenshots. But we've got Willow there in P1, Deflated on P2 with Exotic Planes and John locking out the second row. That guy and Cod Camper with the third row. Joseph Hales, Kemments, Ayahuasca and Smaller Smiley whacking out the top 10. But there is a second in, or 0.8 seconds in lap time difference between P1 and P10. I have a little break now between these. Of course, Brazil has given us some fantastic racing in real life. I mean, it is now moist for the sprint race. I don't know how wet is wet, but it looks wet. We'll find out whether or not it's full wets or inters when the race starts and see what people are going on. Of course, some fantastic races here. I mean, Brazil was one of the first F1 races I remember from when I picked up years ago, 2008, of course, with Lewis Hamilton taking his first world championship here. Check the race director. I can check the race director. I just feel like I'd rather wait until the race. They're all on inters. Of course, people can make change right up until the last second. So we'll see what people do when it comes to the actual race. Like the race director at this point is anything could change. I mean, some people might. If it's inters, I imagine everyone will stick on the inters. If that's what people have got on now, they'll probably stick with it. But the wets. Generally, this game gets it pretty decently with sticking on the wet. But if it's inters, it's generally probably right. It's the wets I feel like it gets a bit off. But yeah, of course, that classic line. I wanna know if we're gonna have a is that Glock moment here. I want to see somebody come around the last corner, running out of fuel. Something dramatic like, because running out of fuel is the closest we're gonna get to that situation here. Of course, this is also a place where Sebastian Vettel scored his, I think it was his third. Yeah, 2012, so it would have been his third championship. Again, another damp race, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Other moments that we had here in real life. We had the, quite frankly, one of the most phenomenal things I've ever seen in F1 with Max Verstappen going sideways up down the pit straight, only just to manage to tick that off at the last possible moment. That was quite impressive. I don't know, actually. I don't know if the smoke's that bad because I don't ever turn it on. So you just reminded me, and I will stick it on for you lovely folk now. Because you probably want to see that, and I forget. But personally, I have absolutely no idea. The smokes always cause horrible frame rate drops for me. Yeah, but see, the engine failure on this game is like a tiny whispers smoke. It's not as dramatic as it could be in real life. I think that's probably what they've done. They've probably swapped around the different effects that they've got there. Here we go. On our formation lap. Everybody is obviously on the inters. Here are your particle effects, courtesy of me. They are awful. In the rain, yeah, you're probably not going to really see much tyre smoke anyway, I don't think. Again, I don't know. I don't use the particles, so I can't imagine it's too bad in the wet compared to the dry. For the smoke, because in real life you wouldn't really see as much tyre smoke from the lockup because it's moist. Here we go on our formation lap then. What are people in the chat predicting for a win for this one? I can see Greg making up some good places. Greg is an absolute beast in the rain. I think we're going to see some good fighting from the top 4 here. And whoever gets the best start, it can make a massive difference here at Brazil. If you get a bit too much wheel spin, then you could be somewhat a bit naffed. And of course, Wee is going to have the inside line down into turn 1. So send it like Max. Yeah, we'll have a Max Ocon situation into turn 1. Oh, it was turn 2 and 3 really that, but could make for some exciting racing. Unfortunately, I think this is where we're going to have to watch the start from, given the annoying camera angle. But Wee doesn't get offered to a much better start than Willow, neither does John. However, Wee went to go round, but I think he went a bit deep. Endor got covered off from Willow here. So we head down the straight with Willow in first place. That guy, DeflatedWee behind him. Exotic Planes following close behind that. All of these cars here so close together as Wee and Exotic goes side by side. Oh, there's a Top Gun in a wall down there. Looks like that could be... He's got away with no front wing damage, so he's alright on that front. See who are the winners and the losers from this. Gertie Steve is up 4 places on turn 1 alone. Well, I presume it's where it happened anyway, but through the first lap he's up 4 places. Smiley's up 2 places, Greg's up 2 places. With Top Gun falling 7 places down to be at the bottom of the grid. Willow has already pulled off a second on Wee, with John being closely followed by Exotic Planes here. Probably a bit of battling that went down between those two, seeing as John was ahead of him, but Planes must just have that little less front and rear wing. John bumps into the rear of him going through turn 2. Out through Curva de Sol. Exotic Planes staying ahead. He just can't quite catch up to John, but Exotic has burnt a lot of his battery, I imagine, on that straight, looking at what I can see here. Greg going marginally wide there, I believe. Taking that place off of Ayahuasca. Everybody's starting to establish a bit of a gap now. It's a hard track to overtake on Brazil. It's going to be even harder in the wet. And you got to be careful, especially in no assists here. Those curbs are going to be absolutely lethal. DeflatedWee is putting a gap on Exotic Planes. Willow is running quite far ahead himself. Losing a bit of time to DeflatedWee there. I think probably burnt a little bit of battery. I know that you can get a good 2 or 3 tenths down the straight alone just from burning your battery if you start doing it down at Jinshan. Start doing it down at Jinshan, you can make yourself up a good 2-3 tenths. No one's really quite close enough to get it hit, except maybe Ayahuasca and Gertie Steve. Gertie seems to be staying just ahead. Oh, Ayahuasca getting a little squirmy out of there. Very easy to do, particularly if you got just a little bit too much throttle on. But the pack is remaining pretty close together. Evening, Steely, how are we doing? We've got myself on comms this evening. Hello. Alone. Yeah, well, I was just running away with this up the front. An entire 1.5 seconds ahead of DeflatedWee. Exotic Planes is starting to catch up with Wee though. John. So Ayahuasca and Gertie Steve are going to trade places again. Yeah, I'm good, Steely. I'm good. I'm living my best life. Trying to keep up with all the thrilling action that's going on here. It's amazing just how much time you can sort of lose down the straight there. Prev's back. Prev not running in last, despite being an AI. Willow is now checked out. I think he's preparing for the actual full race in a bit. These three are our closest runners on track at the moment, except maybe Joseph Hales, who is making a bit of a run up on that guy. Exotic Planes within a few tenths of Wee here. Exotic gets the fastest middle sector. Gets a little squirmy out of Jun Sao. Burning all his battery. Along with Wee to try and get ahead here. Wee puts his car in the middle of the track. Switches across. Looks like Exotic Planes goes to try and outbrake him, but Wee's just got ahead slightly. A little bit of contact. Wee gets ahead and stays ahead. That was amazing. That's fantastic. I'm going to be battling down. Oh, Prev, 10 seconds into the pit lane. Oh, the two of them come together a little bit there. Exotic Planes having to go wide to keep that car under control. Is he going to lose a position here to John? Oh, John gets rear-ended by Exotic Planes. Fortunately, Exotic's wing is intact still. This is a phenomenal view, actually, over top. Oh, well. There is any hope of any hope of a thumbnail there. Oh, Exotic Plane is just tucking in right behind John. Oh, looks like we have a yellow in sector 2. Is that Padge? No, it's the other. Oh, it's Prev. It's Prev coming out of the pits. Okay, I'll get back to this. Oh, that guy goes to send it down the inside of the Planes, but just gets a little short. These two battling very close together as the gap to John has opened up slightly now. So we're going to have 4 cars wide here. Oh yeah, you're right. Smaller is down into 14th. Joseph and that guy scrapping out on track here. Oh, Cod Camper, sorry, not that guy, Cod Camper. Two of them going side by side all the way through Sector 2. As they come up the hill out of Jun Sao. Oh. Joseph House is just staying ahead. Doesn't look like that Cod Camper's planning on burning any battery at this point to try and get ahead of that. He's keeping it right on the rear wing here. So you both go side by side down into turn 4. Cod Camper makes the move, stays ahead. Oh. Something going on down at the back here. So the Williams, a smaller Smiley, might have had a bit of a moment there. JJ gets ahead. Bit of a gap here. Up to the rest of the pack. 3 seconds. Sox and Girthy Steve trading places. Girthy Steve gets his first 3-second track penalty warning. Oh, that a Padge? That's a Padge that's around. These conditions are awful though, like Mexico in the dry is a hard track to run. Trying to run it in the wet as well. DeflatedWee goes faster again. DeflatedWee checking out a little compared to John, and of course Willow is actually just in a different on a different track by this point. 2/3 of the way through the sprint race. Smaller Smiley retiring from the sprint race. Yeah, it's still raining. You're going to have a bit of a dry line, I guess, at this point. I don't like that view. And let's see. No, all the tyres still... none of the tyres are overheating on any of the cars that I'm looking at here. I can see closely anyway. All the tyre temps... 58 degrees. Oh, we getting a little squirmy there at the back. Yes, I did. They're doing the opening show in London in February. So I'll probably be looking to get tickets for that. Exotic Plains, can he make up that third podium place? It's the closest battle we really have on track at the minute, these two. Phenomenal drivers. Exotic, of course, all but confirmed as the AT1 Constructors Champion. And John is our NA Champion. Oh, as Exotic Plains loses the rear. So that is his hopes of a podium place gone now. Oh yeah, Steely, they're doing the F1 reveal. Rather than each team doing their own individual reveal next year, they're doing a big one in London. So that everyone will be getting... yeah, all 10 teams will be there, both cars being revealed there, from what I understand. I might be wrong. But yeah, it's all happening in London at the O2. That's not ideal with Exotic. He's getting a little scrummy out of some of these corners now. Exotic also on pad, I believe, so that's going to make it a bit more difficult. DeflatedWee gets faster again to take the fastest lap of this session. The 1:17.4. Wee's been flying tonight. I mean, Willow's obviously on another level out here, but Wee is... I think Wee's got a real strong chance at winning the race tonight. Not sure what anybody else thinks, but I'd put my bets on Wee if I had to. Cod Camper catching the rear of Exotic Plains now, who's... like, Exotic's just sort of losing the control of that car a little bit. Does sound awesome. The whole F1 Expo thing next year. I'd certainly be looking to go. Not that I can try and sell tickets here because I don't get commission for it, so there's probably not much point, but... Oh, 2 full laps to go almost here at Interlagos. And if you're just joining us, it's not been the most eventful of races. I mean, we've got our top 2 drivers still, like qualifying pole and P2, still running in P1 and P2. John's made up of place from P4, and Exotic Plains has dropped down a couple of places down into P5, but there's not been really any real drama. No cars have really come together. No one's really smashed anybody a bit about. It's been a bit of close driving, but otherwise that's about as dramatic as it's got tonight. Georgie is sleeping. That's all dogs do though. Dogs exclusively sleep. I like that view. It's a good view. What are people's bets on... Oh, and the kids are fighting. That's all kids do though, right? That's all they do is sleep. I'm pretty sure that's all kids do is sleep. Oh no! Are they not well? Do they have the big sick? We, again, 117.1. I don't know if that's the track really drying up or if it's just these tire, like the fuel loads dropping. Probably a mixture of both. Oh. Oh, are you sick? Is that the problem? Oh. This went unnoticed a little bit. A battle between these two. Socks and Top Gun. Sock's doing very well in his NA career, I believe. I would say. But we are coming to the end of the race now, and I think it's only fair to show Willow, who has had an absolutely dominant race. Nothing to really talk about here with Willow, other than the fact he has been consistently a few seconds ahead of Wee this entire race, as he makes his way through Subidados boxes, up to the line to take P1. Wee coming P2, taking the fastest lap as well, with John in P3. Got that guy pipping Exotic Planes to take P4. Joseph, Hales, Kemence, Greg up into P9. Not quite enough for the points up paying positions though. Then Top Gun up next. Socks, who may have run out of fuel, because Girthy Steve has grabbed him at the last second, but it didn't make too much of a difference since the penalties brought him back down. But Socks may have run out of fuel. JJ takes P14. I think we made my mind out. We were talking about a different thing. You're talking about them sleeping. I think John has Moose has here also run out of fuel here. Crosses the line to take P15, and Padge wagging his tail all the way up to the line and looking absolutely beautiful doing it to take P15. Well, I'm sure I speak for myself and everybody here in IIRL when we say we hope that your kids get better soon. Simply because sick children do not make for a pleasant time, I can imagine. There we go then. Willow, 37.45.93, taking P1. To take all 8 points. DeflatedWee going P2. And John wrapping out the podium. That guy, Exotic Plains, Cod Camper, Joseph Howes and Kemence surrounding out the points paying positions. And of course we've had a few DNFs here as well. DeflatedWee taking the fastest lap time. And I realise I keep forgetting that those are two different screens. They'll be alright. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they've got you, a wonderful father, to take care of them. So that marks the end of our sprint. 39.47, 40.93. Oh! I've never really done American football. It's never my thing. I understand it, but I think I'd get bored playing because you wait every time. There's so much stoppage time. Oh. Yeah, I forgot about that one as well. Going back to my Interlagos facts, I suppose it's also Kimi Räikkönen won his championship here as well, didn't he? Beating out Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso by a point. Oh! And then there was also Senna's phenomenal drive. I remember watching... Wow, that's getting a clip. I just saw a man float through the ceiling of the McLaren pit box. I don't think they're meant to do that. I certainly wouldn't recommend it. Is that Glock? I mentioned the Is That Glock earlier on. It's one of my favourite moments. Rubens Barrichello, I think it was, sat there willing on his victory. I'm going to be champion. And then, Is That Glock? Lewis Hamilton rounds turn 13, 14 and 15 to take the win and the championship. Championship, in my opinion, he should have had the year before. But... And of course, Interlagos isn't without any of its collisions either. There was the... Oh, bit of drifting there from Girthy Steve. Was it 2021, 22? It was 21. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen running into one another out at Desí de la Lago. It's also Yeah, you don't see that very often. I don't know, actually. That's a bit mean of me to say. Here we go then. Girthy Steve. Let's go through Girthy Steve's lap. As he comes down into Descida de Lago, turns 4 and 5. It's right on board. Ocon hitting Max, yeah, that was a good one. I was hoping we weren't going to have that in this race. Ooh. A bit of a lock up there from Girthy Steve as he comes down into turn 9. Up to Bico de Pado. Got to try and get a nice wide entry onto that curve, that turn, so you can get the power down as quick as possible. Down into Jun South, third gear corner normally, but Girthy's taking it in fourth. Up the hill, not burning any ERS here, so maybe this is a double warm-up lap here, seeing as he is on the mediums. But he does do a 110.1, which is definitely not going to be enough to get him up into any sort of higher positions here. John burning his battery down to the line. He's 2 seconds faster than take a 107.9. Moose also on his way up to the line here. Moose, a pad player, which I have a lot of respect for here at Interlagos. That's in 111.9. Not a bad time. Medium tyres, pad, no assists. Not a bad time at all. Who else do we have on a lap at the minute? Who's next across the line? That would be Cod Camper. No, but NA on pad at Interlagos. I know. I would die. When I was on pad, I got to the point where I was just racing with line, but that was against AI, and let's be honest, they probably weren't that hard. Go again down. Jun Sao. Third gear corner for Cod Camper, taking it nice through there. The overtake's on as he runs up the hill through turn 15. The turn name that I've never been able to pronounce, and takes a 107.7. Got JJ next across the line. Crosses to take P4 with a very respectable... Oh, Sox also did a lap. I managed to miss that somehow. JJ with a very respectable 109.6. Should be very happy with that. Ayahuasca invalidating again. And locking up down into turn 1. Who's next? We've got a McLaren crossing the line next. But I imagine that's Girthy Steve, who's probably going to dive into the pits here on those medium tyres. Nope, he's putting in a bit more practice. How much fuel does he have on board? 7 laps, so he's probably doing a bit of race practice here. Might dive in at the end to do a fast lap. Greg out on a lap at the minute, but has invalidated. K-Man's also invalidated. Yeah, they definitely have changed up this particle effects. It seemed a bit over dusty, but then again, they just don't look right to me because they never have them turned on. That guy coming up to the line. So it's a 111.6. Ayahuasca is going to set a lap this time. This is a very nice 108.2 on used tyres that are a couple of laps old. There is a John going slowly around the track. There is a John going slowly around the track with a 107.4 and no fuel. Greg's now on a run-in. 52.7 in the middle sector. Second and a bit down on what we were seeing with our fastest times in sector 2 on the soft tyres, but these are mediums. Greg burning out all the battery there. Go 109.1. See, I do feel like people are just burning a bit too much battery. They get to the line with not a lot left, and there's going to be a point where even though you are on overtake, you're still going to be losing power from those batteries as they're not really pumping any energy in. And I mean, you also run the risk here of it being quite an uphill section, so depending on how physicsy this is, you're going to be obviously burning battery up to the line. But if we watch with Wee here, who's on doing a good lap on a 1:51.3, a whole second and a half faster than Greg. You start burning at this point as you go up the hill here. It's quite a steep hill, so it levels off a little bit here, but you're going to be burning battery the entire way up, and I don't know how much of a difference it's actually going to make, because here you see Wee running up to about 300 and odd kph as he sets a 107.4. Who else is out on the lap at the minute? Willow. Let's ride on board with Willow. Let's see what Willow does. So, very nice 5th gear through turn 5 down Decido de Lago. The hill into, I think this is Ferradura, and I don't know the corner for this one. This one is a PM, I've never been able to pronounce it, but we come up into Bico Tapato. Little lock up there, gets the power down, and this is going to be a good lap I think here from Willow. What, 3/10 up on what we did on his medium tyres actually, and we went a 107.5, so maybe a high 6 here for Willow. Are we going to see a high 6 here? See, that's the, I don't know if it's just wings, but Willow's already 10 kph faster. There we go, 107.2 for Willow. Again, not quite a record, but oh, Top Gun's invalidated. Let's go to Joseph Hales, who's also invalidated. Squirmy. You don't have high hopes for this. Socks, I always have high hopes for you. Like, there was that point I was forming the Socks fan club, remember? There we go, smaller smiley on there. First lap, 17.5 through sector 1. I want to see what Smiley does here in sector... Never mind. Smiley went over that little bump there. Most of the time. He's got plenty of time to go out and do another run. So, yeah, of course the fan club still exists. And I'm afraid that your joke is lost on me a bit there. Steely, I don't know what Wisbeck or Fens is. Something. Is it a football thing? I don't know. Okay, Padge is also invalidated while I was... I don't know, Socks. Even though Nifty's my teammate and I want to get the constructors with him, not that that's going to happen, grumble, grumble. Unless I suddenly pull out of nowhere. I think you're on it. I think you're on it. You just got to try and find that balance a bit more. Exotic is invalidated, so everyone is invalidated except John, who is 1,000th of a second down on his previous time, so practically identical first sector. Goes 2.4 seconds down in his second sector, so probably not the lap he wants to do here. Pull it out of his seat, out of his special place. His dream book. To do a phenomenal job. Here we go, with Wee. Let's ride on board with Wee. Down towards Destino de Lago, and he is 0.07 of a second up. Round here, up in towards turn 6 and 7. This is probably a 6th gear corner, yeah. Keeping the power flat down, touches the ground slightly, gets a little squirmy, locks up on the front, but makes it nicely down into turn 9. Up to Vico to Pato. A couple of yellow flags ahead of him. Probably a car slowing down and let them pass. But as he's flooring it down here into Junsao. Nice bit of rotation on the car there. Burning his battery up the hill. Round up into turn 15. It's not really even a turn. No battery left. See, he's 10 kph down on what Willow was there. So it'll be interesting to see what Willow does on their next run. JJ. See what how JJ does it. So not as tight there into turn 3. Braked a little late by the looks of it. Or turn 3 even. Up to Vico de Pato. That was quite nice. Gets a little wide out of there maybe. Oh, he slows down to let Chemits through. So it looks like he might be giving it another run, hence maybe those little mistakes on his 100% battery. See, Chemis here, like another 10 kph down again on Wii, because they're burning the battery too early, I feel. Ayahuasca into Junsao. Nice exit out of there, keeps the power in early. Up the hill. A lot more battery here. A lot more battery. But it's irrelevant because he's going into the pit anyway. Oh, okay, those are some interesting particle effects. If that's what they look like then. Oh, Lord, you poor folks. I can't... See, if I'm in the car and I have my particle effects on like that, on high anyway, my laptop doesn't enjoy it, and my laptop tends to drop a ton of frames. Because I raced with it on in the beginning, because I wanted it for the immersion. I don't care about not being able to see, but the frame drop, I did it in Monaco last season, the frame drop was... I suppose there are some benefits there to obviously being on console, as Top Gun invalidates. Console, it's all static. You don't have to worry about frame rate drops like that as much. But, sadly for me. Taking donations though, if people want to donate towards a brand new gaming PC for me, and I will accept them and then race with the particle effects on for immersion. Any donors? The chat is monstrously silent. No donors for me here. Moose has already burnt 50% of his battery here in the first sector. Goes a bit deep there. Not really, actually. He managed to get the car under control. He braked a little late. Drops, he keeps the foot flat in though, which is good for this corner here. That's kind of what you want to be doing. A little wide there again. This is going to invalidate that lap because he got all off the track there. Padge starts his lap. Top Gun's on another run. I think this is Joseph Hales at quali now. He won't have time, I don't think, to get back into the pits and turn the car around in order to get a lap in. So, unless he's here planning on trying to give... can't be the other Ferrari because the other Ferrari is way too far behind. Who is that? That's Top Gun behind him. See you in a bit. We're gonna watch Sox's lap in a second, as he has made me aware that he's going on one. Top Gun goes P6 or 107.6. I want to see what Wee's gonna do though. Oh, Smaller Smiley did do a lap. Popped in a lap with a 1:18.5. Now out 9 seconds up. A lot more battery on board with the car here, see? So, he started at 60% down at Junsao. He's burning the battery, still plenty of battery left to burn. See, he's 10, 11 kph faster than everybody else at that point. If he gets up to the line there, he's going to pick up more speed down the straight. Not sure when anybody else is picking up that time, but he goes 107.8. quite a tight midfield here. Prev's next across the line. He'll go through with a 109.3, which puts him P15, not like Prev. Joseph Hales is also, not Joseph Hales, Exotic is also invalidated here. Joseph Hales on a run, but it's not a fast lap, that's for sure. He is 10 seconds down on where he'd need to be for a fast run. Don't know how much time we have left in this session, but is he going to make it to the line in time? Will he have enough fuel on board? He's not, you know. He's only got 0.8 laps of fuel. He's not going to have enough to do a lap. Exotic Plains says 1.5. If he's still got tyre life in, he can do one. Wee is 0.2 down. He's aborting on that lap. Willow is 900ths up though, which would put him on course for P1 at the moment. Smiley with some more. Yeah, excellent timing, like you say there, Steely. Willow's down. Is Wee going to take this pole? Willow burning his battery now. He's getting to the point. It's losing efficiency. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to snag it. He doesn't. He improves, but only by 37 thousandths of a second for Wee to take P1. Wee has pole position here unless Kemets can pull 4/10 out, but I don't think he's going to. He's diving into the pits. Ayahuasca is 1/10 up at the moment, but let's see. Joseph Hales is not going to do it. Is Exotic Plains going to set a good time here? He takes pole! Oh, Wee! Stripped of that pole position by Exotic Plains, he does a 106.9, 0.2 faster. That end of session grip just pulling him through. What a phenomenal run. Greg, according to this, is 67,000 milliseconds up on his previous time now. There we have it, everybody. A 6.9, I know. Nice. Steely. You have an image to uphold now. You're a person with a responsibility. You can't say things like that. Though I think I might just have to... a second. Here we go. Work. Same. Same as Steely. I'm also too immature. Exotic Plains takes pole with a 106.9. Wee, Willow, John, Kements, that guy, Top Gun, Cod Camper, and Ayahuasca. The smaller Smiley wrapping out the top 10. Padge, Girthy, Steve, Socks, Prev, Greg, JJ Moose, and Joseph Hales wrapping out the rest. Joseph Hales with a phenomenal time of 120.7. Which I'm honestly very impressed with. Just need to very quickly capture that and very quickly do this. We've got a 5-minute gap now. Should take us up to 38. And run it through for the race here at what's it called? Interlagos, which, for anybody who's not aware, is Portuguese, because they speak Portuguese in Brazil, for between two lakes, I believe, Interlagos. So that's my trivial fact for it. XX37 officially. Oh, look at that. I've ruined everything. I'm sorry. Thank you, Steely, for saving my Bakun. Yes, I'm really awful for it. I'm gonna have to start like writing out things before the like races with like facts for things for people to know because I have no idea who won this one previously in NA. Probably John John. John John is an absolute beast. Though not quite up top today. The only country in South America that speaks Portuguese. Well, it's only one of a couple of countries in the world. That and Portugal. Speaking Portuguese. I don't know if it's Portuguese in Portuguese. Maybe I shouldn't try that. But I digress. I want to take some bets. Those in the chat, I want to give me some predictions on after seeing quali and the sprint race. Who's going to win? Who's going to win this race? Because Exotic has got pace, but this is, I believe, his NA debut. So, or debut, his NA debut. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Because as you saw in the it was moist, but he lost time and he had that little spin down at Descida del Lago, and he's going to have to be consistent here if he wants to win that race. And I don't know if that's something for his Nadabut NA debut, if that's something he'll be able to do, but we'll see. Steely reckons Willow to win. Willow's in for a good chance, but he's in P3, I believe. DeflatedWee starting on the second like the inside on that first row, so if he gets a good launch compared to Exotic Plains, he could definitely make the run down into turn 1. Try and bip his nose in and get ahead. Of course, you can go side by side through 1 and 2 through the center S's, or the center S, I suppose. It's only one thing. And then you can run all the way down through Curva de Sol to make it down to Descida del Lago. And still be side by side with people up until that point, really. I think turn 4 is a bit too tight for people to fight side by side through and get out cleanly. Hence, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen a few years ago. And, of course, Lance Stroll with the gravel this year. So I could see how it'd be quite difficult for cars to get through there at all. Like just surviving the track at all there is clearly a challenge. Yeah, maybe I should have left it at that. Oh, of course, you've got Lance Stroll. Moving on. I'd hate to be any of these marshals down the side here behind these concrete barriers. I honestly don't know what they're looking at. Like, that's a mood. Marshals have got an absolutely thrilling view of the race down there. Here we go. Let's see. What are people doing for their tyres? Exotic Plains is opting for the alternate strategy today, which I think is very interesting. So is Wee and Willow. John Kemmett starting on the mediums. That guy. Top Gun, Cod, Smaller Smiley. Oh, okay. Exotic Plains running wide off the track there. He did a stroll! Exotic Plains did a stroll! I'm pretty sure that's where that was. Was it down here at Jinsao, actually? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it felt like it was the end of turn, at the end of the first sector. But I may be wrong. I just remember turning on the telly and seeing a Lance Stroll off the track, and then the camera cutting across. Oh, it was down Jinsao. Oh, it was down here then. Oh, okay. Oh, there's cars going off the track already. Hard for that guy. Lots of smokies off the car behind. Those particle effects are certainly interesting. Right, I'm going to have to probably do this in order to get a view of the start effectively. Oh, I also want to turn that off. Here we go. Oh, Moose jumped the start, and it looked like Joseph Hales did too. Oh, Exotic Planes is getting ahead to try and cover off Wee, but Willow had just a bit of wheel spin and let John get ahead. But there we have Wee, DeflatedWee, out ahead at the start of this race. Joseph Hale seems to have a moment right down on the start as he's dropped back slightly. John pulling in alongside of Exotic Planes there. Moving up round into turn 7 as the cars come down turn 8, turn 9. So Exotic managed to keep it ahead, but DeflatedWee has got out in front. And John's got to try and get past Exotic as quick as he can, because otherwise those medium tyres are just going to start melting on him. Finishing this. Oh, excuse me. It's about time the yawns came. Finishing off the first lap. John scrapping to try and get ahead, but it looks like Exotic has burnt so much battery trying to stay ahead here. John is just playing games with them at the moment as Cod Camper overtakes that guy. DeflatedWee staying out ahead. Looks like Joseph House is probably going to be retiring, or is he just serving his drive through and hoping for a Padge though down in the back. But Joseph House serving his drive through Moose. So is this still fighting through. He should probably have pitted on the first lap. If you don't, you're risking getting caught out with a safety car. Exotic Plane's still behind. John is probably going to snag this place here though. Wee needs to get a good exit out of Jinsao compared to Exotic Planes if he wants to stay ahead here. Long DRS straight. John's already alongside. Exotic Plane's burning all of his battery to get ahead. So is DeflatedWee to try and keep it off, but John doesn't manage to make the place up on Wee, which I find interesting. But John didn't really burn his battery. He's playing this safe. He's playing the long game. He knows there's no rush to try and get towards the line here. It'll come to him. Willow has dropped down, however, into... Oh, we took the place back. Bit of contact between the wheels there, but was that John's gone around? But again, more contact with Exotic Planes. Promotes Kemmons and Willow up to P3 and 4. Joseph Hales gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Excuse me. That's not what Joseph Hales wants. Not in the slightest. So, a couple of laps in here. Let's have a gander and see Moose 3 seconds of corner cutting. Moose also has to serve his drive through this lap. If he doesn't, he's running risk of a penalty. Exotic Planes ahead, Kemet's out ahead of DeflatedWee as well. But let's try and view these positions changes here. Right as I take that as the thumbnail. Yes, so Kemet's is up 3 places. Cod Camper up 2, Prev up 5, Greg up 2, and JJ up 1. Everybody else has lost positions. Smaller Smiley has apparently got -1 position, so I'm not entirely sure what that's about. Kement's running P2 in this race now, just behind Exotic Planes, who is 30C gets 3 seconds for track limits. Kement's has burnt a significant amount more battery though there than Exotic Planes, but probably not worth defending for Exotic. Let Kemet's get ahead. He'll get a better exit out of there since he had a better line. Kemet's was a bit on the inside. To come through the S's down towards Jinsao. Everyone's weird. Sorry, Zito Delago. Everyone's rear wing's wide open. DeflatedWee makes a move on Kement's. As Exotic Planes gets that place back as well. Willow gets a shunt up the rear by John, I think. But these top 5 cars are all so close together. They are practically inside one another. Oh, Willow trying to make a run on Kement's, and he does it. Up into Bico de Pado. Gets ahead. Lovely Corgi. I'm confused. What's lovely? What did I say? What did I do? Also, evening Reds. Oh, DeflatedWee gets ahead with Exotic Planes here, racing Willow through turn 2 and 3. Oh, there's a car that's gone around. It looks like Prev, judging by the dropping. Yeah, Prev's gone around there. Oh, they're practically... Ah, right, okay, yeah, that's not what I meant. But, speaking of, these cars are, again, practically inside one another. I'm pretty sure... Did they just go to the particle effects and just press yes to everything? Because like, every time the car touches the floor, there's an explosion of dirt. So Willow has managed to make it up into P3 now. Kemet's dropped back a couple of places, and this is one of the things that I don't know if I like or dislike about. It's dirt. It's not wing. So like you see, where I notice it in the places where the cars normally bottom out. Whenever that happens, like when they go off track or they go up through Ferradura, the cars bottom out, and then you see the particle effects come off, because I've not seen anybody actually get any damage as they go 3 wide into turn 1. Oh. Wow, okay. Okay, that had me kind of on the edge of my seat there. And they're going to do it again. All of these cars running down into turn 4, practically side by side. Cod Camper and Willow scrapping away. Oh. I'm surprised no one died. There was minor contact, but no one died as Joseph Hales goes around at the back and gets lapped by our front runners. DeflatedWee's getting out a bit ahead. Oh, excuse me. Whoa. I think, I imagine Joseph Hales is probably gonna... Everybody has got brown pants after going through that. And I don't think we're going to see anything quite like that again this lap. As it's a bit cleaner, the cars aren't as close together. But Joseph Hales is out. I am very EP. It's been a long day. I had to get up and go to work. heckin' EP. These cars are like they are so close together here. Everyone is running so close together in the top 10. Oh, Smaller Smiley's down in P15. He must have had a moment somewhere that I missed. Prev retires in the pits as well. Oh, that's how it feels on a Tuesday, on a Thursday for me, on a Saturday, on a Sunday. And the only day I'm not tired is probably a Friday because well, I've got all of them booked off work, so then I have no commitments. Of course, then I have all the energy. Down into turn 1. Nothing dramatic, nothing thumbnail worthy here. I was hoping to see some cars come together, but nobody's dead. You're right. Like, as Greg and Sox trade places here, you're right, and the undercut here is, as I remember, pretty good. Like, excuse me. If you can, you can get that faster lapping as you go around. Smaller Smiley retires in the pits as well, which was enough to cause my game to freeze momentarily. In shock, just fear. They are. These guys up front are going to be pushing it, but the hard runners are going to have the advantage. Their tyres are going to wear less, and they're keeping up with the guys on mediums. John, for instance, here, he's going to be losing. His tyres are going to start getting hot. They're going to start wearing earlier. He's going to start making more mistakes. But the hard runners, they're going to be doing a bit better here. So if you can keep so close together on the hards are a great opening strat. You obviously run the risk of... oh, what a move from John. As the cars all running so close together there. Bit of a bump, but John has pushed through to take the lead. Mind Smaller Smiley going off track there. This is his car leaving. He's going on an adventure. Exotic did lock up turn 1, and I think that's what made that so impressive. John managed to capitalise on it and take out so many places with it. And now, if he's still got life in those tyres, and I doubt he will at 10 laps, he's going to have to really put the pedal to the metal here to be able to get out in front of everybody else. Phenomenal stuff. And coming up the hill. He's only 0.3 seconds ahead. So he's probably gonna lose position to Willow here. As Wee will lose position to Exotic will lose position to Wee. Bit of a cleaner turn 1 there. But John's still very close behind Willow. Yeah, you're all keeping... It's as soon as the first yawn comes, that's it, they all start coming. Oh, somebody hit a board there. John down into turn... Oh! Wee's gone. Wee is bye-bye. We left. We went on an adventure. He's managed to get back on track and keep it in touch, but he went flying off my screen there. He went on his own little trip. Which means here that gap to Exotic, if Exotic makes a mistake, he's going to lose the DRS here to Willow, because Exotic and Wee was sort of... Oh, it's dribbling. The rain's coming down. It's going to start getting moist here soon. And again, those hard runners might be having a bit of an advantage here, because Exotic hasn't dropped the DRS, but he's not picking up a lot of time here to the guys at the front. There we go, he's a bit closer now. Yeah, because of course Wee was yeah, that makes sense actually with the rain. Moose has already gone on to the intermediate tyres. Probably a little premature. They're going to start getting very hot very quickly as Greg and Sox are swapping positions. These two in a race of their own at the moment, prepping for Sunday, I imagine. Yeah, see, that's what I mean there with the dirt coming off the car as it goes down the bottom. Moose is going to cook his tyres. In fact, see if I can't snag a peek here. Yeah, they're already running at 75 degrees on the rear left, 76 on the rear right, 71 on the front, 74 on the front right. He's got to be very careful he doesn't melt those at this point. Like, it's all about tyre temperature, not just about the aquaplaning beneath them, but it's about that tyre temperature. If you can keep the tyre temperature in, then you're going to be fine in the damp. Is that Socks? Socks had a moment. Socks is out of DRS now from Greg. Are we going to see Socks pit for the Inters? We are not. Willow and John trading places here. Exotic Planes and we still racing it down into turn 1, but of course both have the DRS. The top 9 are all in DRS. Greg being 10 seconds off the rest of the pack there. But I want to quickly jump back on board with Moose. And yeah, his tyres are in the... I don't know actually, those 8s, they look like 8s. His tyres are almost, in the Inters, are almost 100, like 90 degrees on the rear. They are well outside their comfort zone. He'll be sliding all over the place, and then by the time the moisture actually comes down with any kind of vigour, that's it. But I suppose it's time now. John's pitting. He is on the medium tyres after all. They are significantly more worn. The hard runners might just be getting a bit out of that at the minute, but we've got John, Codcamper, and Kemments all pitting here. Greg's popping in for the Inters now as well. I imagine Socks is coming in just behind him. We'll be seeing Padge come in a second too, I imagine. Padge, yeah, diving into the pit lane. So, Girthy Steve getting a bit squirmy out of that. JJ gets ahead of him. But Moose, he's got no traction. Unsurprisingly, here in his tyres are almost, his rear right is at 92 degrees. Mark broke. Yeah, Mark does that. Mark breaks. Mark is broken. Willow, 3 seconds. See, look at that. Look at the way the rear goes around there for Moose. He's got no grip. He's doing a what's this going to be? A 119.6 on those tyres. And we'll take a look and see what John does in a second with the first out here on the Inters. Is he going to be able to undercut? Everybody else up front is now pitting with the exception of that guy in Ayahuasca. Is John going to be able to undercut them there? Was that just a decision from John because he had no other choice? Or is that going to be enough for him to make it through? Because it's a fast pit lane here. Could be very touch and go. He's currently side by side with those runners. Is Willow going to make it out just ahead? No! John's done it. John has undercut the rest. With that early pit stop. I mean, I don't actually remember where he was beforehand, but phenomenal. John's really managed to get out ahead here. Getting a little squirmy up the hill, but it goes off track. That's going to let Willow through. Maybe even DeflatedWee, yep. As they battle side by side into turn 8. Wee's going to have the better run there. Even with that moment, I kind of want to see what John's lap time is going to be compared to what Moose is doing at the moment. Remember, it was a 119.8 for Moose. That guy's pitting, says Ayahuasca. Oh, excuse me again. John burning his battery now up to the line. 12, 13, 14, 15. See, 3 seconds faster than Moose. I think we've still got the DRS at this point. Ayahuasca's the only one who's still out. And he's... Oh! Big slide into the wall there. That's going to be front wing end plate damage for Ayahuasca. It's not looking like... The track's just a bit greasy now, and on these older tyres, these worn tyres, it's just not enough. There's not enough grip in them. Willow only 0.4 seconds behind ahead of DeflatedWee. Exotic Plane's just behind them again, and John out now behind that, not losing up too much time with that itty bitty little spin up at Ferradura. Well, it was more of an off-track moment, less a spin. But Wee is closing the gap to Willow. For Willow to win this, he needs to pull out the same kind of fantastic moves that he managed to play on excuse me, in the sprint race, but Wee still got the DRS and gets ahead. Ayahuasca's going to be losing a lot of time now because he's got to replace that front wing. Presuming he got it replaced. He did not. Oh, he's going to... I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's going to cost him a lot of time. Yes, he can't even... He's struggling to get out of the pit lane there, even with that kind of damage. Even though it's a horrible pit lane, let's be honest, so it's probably not the front wing that did that. I'm always tired, Snacks. Honestly, it's every week. Every Thursday as well. I'll be on with... Moose is on the mediums. What am I looking at? Moose is on the mediums. Moose! He's got no grip at all, whatsoever. This is Tokyo Drift out here for Moose. This is getting all the wheel spin. DeflatedWee and Willow fighting into turn 1. Sorry, I probably should have been paying more attention to that, but I was kind of wanting to see what's Moose going to do now. He can't stay out. Please don't stay out. Please pit. He's not pitting. He's not pitting. Okie dokie then. Anyway, moving up on. I have no words for what Moose is doing at the moment. DeflatedWee and Willow. John and Exotic Planes. Up here at Ferradura. Oh, turn 8 even. Ferradura is turn 6, isn't it? This is Pico de Padde. I remember all about that whole section. But Wee's out ahead. See, I had it at the beginning in my mind with I think I might have said it as well, but I think you had Willow. Steely had Willow for the win. I honestly believe it's going to be Deflated. Which guy had a moment? So that guy had a moment. Which guy? There's many guys on the track. I know who you mean. I'm just being facetious. Sorry, did I miss something? What was terrible? Did I look at this? I was looking at the chat. Did something happen? Or do you just mean my joke? Because that could also be construed as terrible. Oh, that guy joke. Yeah, I've seen the start finish straight with the particle glitch. I think it wouldn't be surprised if it's switching between all the different cameras as well. It thinks that it's got a lot to do at the same time. So I think we could win this. Willow's down. Willow's got the carrying that penalty, so it's highly unlikely he's going to win. He'd have to disappear to do that. It's not wet, still just looks damp. It's definitely Inter's conditions. You can kind of see that wet dry line happening. Oh. But Wee's just got it. That's some fantastic defending from Wee there. moves out wide, lets exotic planes get through on the inside, and then just gets a way better exit out through the S's. Fantastic driving there from DeflatedWee. As he defends again here, just puts his car in the middle of the track. He makes it, I mean, what, this track's got to be like 10, 15 meters wide maybe? He makes his car 100 meters wide. He hasn't got his elbows out, he's got his wings out. Some fantastic driving here from me. Again, we at Moose is pitting. I'm going to pray that it's for the Inters and not a set of softs. Ooh, excuse me. No. Oh no, he's gone for the softs. I was joking. I was joking when I said that I meant. He's actually gone for the softs. What a madman. He's out here doing Pirelli tyre tests. Pirelli have phoned him up and gone, look mate, we need you to test all of our tyres in wet conditions here. Can you do us a solid? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. I'll try every single compound out here in the damp. Oh. These two bumping wheels. Oh, getting very close together here. DeflatedWee gets pushed a little wide. But Exotic Planes has made it out ahead. Willow is sniffing on the gearbox as well here. Any mistakes from these two is going to see Willow and John, I imagine, go flying through. Oh. While they go through here... Oh, Moose is retired from the session. On track! Ooh. Ooh, that's naughty. He's a naughty. You don't do that. He's a naughty boy. Oh. Anyway, back to the racing. Exotic Planes is out ahead now. Retired. The car went. No, yeah, the car just drove off the track. He retired. He didn't bin it. We saw the car driving into the runoff. The car's spacing themselves out a little here. It's getting a bit more wet. I know. It is the Inland Revenue Service. Truly surprising. Grid's very spread out and about here. While these guys are going through here, I'll do a tour of the grid. JJ running at the back, about to be lapped. Well, and makes it easier for them with that little slide there. Tricky conditions. But JJ's actually doing a really good job, I feel, in NA. Like, he's got a target, he's got an aim, he's doing a great job, in my opinion. Drifting like crazy, though, that's impressive. Girthy Steve is also on the track. Very good run in NA, 81 sorry, and 82 the other day, but he's racing in NA as well. Padge, down in P12, zipping around, doing his thing. Socks again, very lonely out there. That guy, Greg, another lonely car with ayahuasca. Who's jumping into the pits? Is that JJ? We're going to see a retirement here from JJ. Yep. There we go. Back to the front. So I don't lose any of the action while I was giving the rest of the grid some screen time. But Cod Camper's sort of in touch at the minute with his teammate Top Gun as well. Kemments is out on his own. So it's kind of the top 4 drivers at the minute running a race. Then Cod Camper not too far behind. Definitely within range to catch up. You know what the rest of them is, are just approaching the 66% mark. 2/3 of the way through the race. Almost. 24 laps. Exotic Planes keeping out ahead. Oh, Willow got a little squirmy out of Jinsao there. Not lost a lot of time to DeflatedWee though. Oh. DeflatedWee is pitting. John is pitting. Willow is still out. Why? Why are they... So they pit for fresh inters. But surely the inters would have gone to the end of the race. I would have thought the inters would have run to the end of the race. I mean, it seems like these guys had the same idea at the same time. I mean, it might have been reactionary from John. But we have got 12 laps to go. And if I use some magic here... They're 20 laps behind the lead. Sorry, 20 seconds behind the lead, right? So, they'd be having to make up, back of the envelope, 1.3 seconds a lap to catch up to those 20 in 12 laps. What's that? 13. Yeah, about 1.3 seconds a lap to just reach the front by the end of the race. So yeah, I can't see them doing it, to be honest with you, but everybody else is pitting behind as well. Everybody else is pitting and they're all still... Let's let this update. And in fairness, Wee has made up almost 2 seconds on the front runners there. Exotic Plains has pit as well. It's come out just behind Wee. John, they're picking up like 2 seconds a lap to the lead there. Willow has got a choice to make here. If he can keep it out, and with... Well, this is, I suppose, there's the last lap as well, so 12 laps now to go. 18 seconds in 12 laps is 1.5 seconds a lap. If Willow can keep that kind of time, it can make it ahead. I think, well, ayahuasca maybe, yeah. I mean, we just did a 1:16 on that lap, right? So annoyingly, you can't pull up anybody's last lap time. So let's see what Willow does on this lap, and then immediately compare Wee afterwards. I'll look at their dashes, and let's see if I can make some headway on what's going on here. But these guys are going to be fighting one another the whole way through. Hey, look at that pace difference between ayahuasca and the rest. Like, he just did not get anywhere near as good a launch out. DeflatedWee is now 16 seconds behind with 11 full laps to go. So let's see. Willow's left it too long now. If he comes out, if he pits now for a shot to the leader, he's going to come out in P5 if he pits now. And that lap he did a 1:18.1 almost. Of course, it's the pen as well, yeah. So 1:18.1. We went 1:16.3. So that's just under 2 seconds a lap. Now 15 seconds behind Willow. With 27 through 36, 10 laps to go. 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. There's 10 full laps, or 9.5 now laps to go. That's what I'm thinking. It could be very close. These guys are going to lose tyre performance a lot faster than Willow will. It sort of plateaus out, doesn't it? It's steep after a few laps. It's pretty flat as to begin with, and the tyres will grain up, they'll wear out, and that'll be a much more exponential rate of loss here for these guys than it would be for Willow. Especially as Willow starts to lose, like, burn off the fuel. If Willow hits a cliff, then he's got a problem. But I don't think he will. I mean, here we are now on lap 28. There's 9 laps left to go, full laps. These guys are fighting through one another. Say 9 full laps to go to make up 14 seconds. You know, that's still 1.5 seconds to go. So they're not closing. In fact, it's a little more than that, like 15 point. What? Yeah, 1.55, 1.57 seconds a lap. You're gonna be. They're not closing the gap like they need to be to catch Willow. Like 10.9. Yeah, you know what? You're very right that it's 10.9. 10.6 now. We'll say that with 8 seconds to go. So that's more, what, 1.4? 1.3, 1.4 seconds a lap? With 9 laps to go? 1.3. Are these guys fighting and scrapping with one another through the field? It's a hard one, right? Because if I was Wee right now, obviously I'd be wanting to push and push and push. If I was Exotic, you know, I want to get ahead of Wee. But every time they try and overtake one another, they're going to be throwing themselves into a really difficult spot because they're going to be battling it out. It's almost as though they want to be working together. You know, if Exotic Planes can overtake Wee naturally without a lot of time loss, great. Or any time loss, go for it, great. Because then that'll give Wee the slipstream and they can sort of leapfrog one another up the front, right? But let's have a look at the end of this lap as Willow crosses the line and see what his time was again on the dash. Yeah, exactly. He's got to really play it carefully, Exotic. Yeah, Willow's crossing the line now. He does a 1:17.7, so better lap than he did earlier. He's not using up a lot of battery either. Wee's using up a bit more battery here as he's battling with Exotic Planes who go, and he does a 1:16.3. Missed their dashes, but that was only a second and a bit between their lap times. It's not enough. 7 laps to go with 12 seconds. They're pushing on, like, they're closing in on that two lap mark now, or 2 second mark even. But it's the sector 2 is the issue where they're gonna make up the time. Turn 1 and 2 in sector 2. They're fighting one another. Exotic gets ahead through up into turn 6, up into Ferradura, which is great, but he's still 11 seconds off of Willow. Through Biko to Pado, and they were scrapping their whole way through that. Exotic Planes, I think he might have made a bit of a mistake there. I think that time loss could have cost both of them the win here. We're on lap 31 now, so we've got 6 laps of racing left to go. And still 11 seconds to close, so yeah, we are now sitting right up on that sort of 1.8 second mark for these guys to close that gap. You see, they pick up about half a second through there, but I think Willow's got it now. 11 seconds and 6 laps to go. 10 seconds now. 5.5 laps to go if we try and do that back of the envelope. Then we're looking at, you know, just about 1.8 seconds again, I suppose. it's over. I don't think they can do it. If every single lap that number is going up, not down, then like that. Sorry, it's not 10 seconds, is it? Again, I'm wrong. It's 7 seconds because of that 3-second gap. See, that's not as dire. That's like 1.2 seconds. So that number is actually coming down. Actually, that number is coming down. Exotic planes with a 116.1, so they're getting faster. I think the track's drying off a little, you know. It looks like it's the rain's gone. Willow's sailing out in front, but 5 laps to go. They're down to 6 seconds now. Oh, I can't call this. Ayahuasca's gone onto the softs. See if he can pip a fastest lap here. It looks like the track's gone dry. Dry, wet, dry. Eight and a half seconds, so 5.5 seconds net with 4 and a bit laps to go. No, I think you're right, Steely. I don't think it's long enough. Because Willow's not the only one who's going to be suffering from... My god, Willow's rear right tyre is at 91 degrees. Exotic planes... See, now this is where it is. The track's gone dry. Everybody on the Inters is going to be suffering from poor performance now. So... if the DRS gets reactivated, though... Oh, here we go. We and Exotic not scrapping, keeping it clean. Although they are going side by side through here. We goes a little wide. Stays ahead. 8 seconds. 4 laps. 5 seconds net. That's not really come down since the last lap. Sox gets out of the way for the rest of the front runners. .4 seconds, so 4 point... Wow, that time's actually coming down a lot. They gained a second through that middle sector. If these two have a coming together now, though, into turn 1, that's it. It's over. Like, they are 4 seconds net at the minute. 3 laps to go. It's 1.3 seconds a lap. Willow's tyres are they're awful. It's such a hard tyre on the right hand tyre, such a hard track on the right side tyres. 95 degrees on the rear there. Wees are at 97. Exotics at 97. So these tyres are literally melting. But they're down now to 6 seconds with 3 seconds difference, 2.5 laps to... So net 3 seconds, 2.5 laps to go. If Wee keeps this up, he could win. If they can keep up this pace, particularly through this middle sector, as so it gets a little squirmy there. It's definitely a scenario in which they can win. And we're a migrating host. I think I might have just been disconnected. That's not what I want to see right now. Ah, no. I will try and get back in as quickly as I can and see if I can catch the end of this. Or did... Oh god, did it do what it did before? Where it kicked everybody out and called the end of the session? Or is it just my game because I can't get out of this? I don't know. Yeah, I've been kicked. Ah, crap. I can't do anything about this at the minute because I'm stuck in this silly little... According to this, Willow has won. Ah, no. Come on. I can't quit this. See if I can't quickly get back in. It's me. I know they're still racing, and I can't do anything about it at the moment. Come on. Session no longer exists. Oh. Not sure what happened there. I do apologise. Hopefully I'll get back in before the end of the race so we can see who finishes. I'm very sorry. Oh, here we go. Willow, so I'm sorry we missed it. I'm really sorry we missed it. But we did manage to pip Willow and on track. I imagine that is something I wish we'd all seen. I'm really, really sorry. Willow has a puncture. Ah, right, okay. They've enabled DRS now. Oh my god, if they've enabled DRS now, on the last possible moment on this lap, are these two going to play chicken down to the line? They are and all. But their tyres are screaming. Does... Oh! Exotic Planes managed to pip that position at the last possible second to take the win off of DeflatedWee. 52 thousandths of a second between them. Sorry, let's try and catch everybody else finishing as well. What a phenomenal end to that race, and I'm really sorry we missed the actual overtake there, but it doesn't sound like it was hard for people with Willow on a puncture. It's going to be really unfortunate for DeflatedWee there. 52 milliseconds. Awful. That guy crossed the line. Sorry, I looked right. Oh, okay. To look at the chat and missed. Got that though. Wow. Wow. I'm glad I was able to get back in to catch the end of that. But there we have it. Exotic Planes pulls the win on the weekend with 29 points. DeflatedWee taking 25 overall. John coming in third for that with 21 points. Willow losing out massively because of that puncture. Exotic Planes absolutely just snatched that in the last possible moment off of DeflatedWee. John sniffing right up behind that as well. There's not a lot that DeflatedWee could do about it, honestly, at that point. Any line he tried to take, I think Exotic would have just popped him on that. Willow takes points though with P6. Or P7, sorry, takes 6 points. But that's the Brazilian Grand Prix, a full sprint weekend as well. Thank you everyone for joining me tonight. It was an absolute pleasure. It was quite exciting actually to see what was going to happen there. It gave me big Silverstone 2020 vibes with Lewis Hamilton's 2 pop tyres and Max Verstappen bearing down on him at the last possible moment. So yes, I can only imagine that Smiley was hosting. I can only imagine that we must have had a quick blip on our internet connection for a minute. That's unfortunate. But yes, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you on Thursday for 81. Again, Brazil, that'll be our 400th race. Make sure to tune in for that one. Should be quite an exciting one. But again, thanks everybody, and have a great night.